But looking back at it now, how would you gauge Oxford? If there's any quick sort of review that you've got, choosing to go to Oxford again, you mentioned that stuff, the thoughts of quitting, stressful dissertations. I know you're writing, assignments now, but what's your review of Oxford? If you could condense it as, I don't know, concisely as possible. It's a tough
whole
idea.
3 years of my life.
Yeah.
I definitely don't regret it in the slightest. Like, that is the thing that I'll say the most, is I don't regret it. I don't regret the privilege that it's given me. I don't regret the fact that it's allowed me to start this sort of YouTube channel. The people that I've met, the tutors that I've met, the contacts that I've made, and also, if I didn't go to Oxford, I wouldn't have known about Cranfield, because I was taught by like a shared tutor. He was like a visiting lecturer from Cranfield. So in terms of my career and my goals in life, Oxford has been absolutely key.
Yep.
And I think it was right for me. Like, it was really hard. And at times I genuinely did feel like I think I need a year out. Like, and I'm talking purely because, like, when I was doing my dissertation, I really struggle to put things down on paper. Like, I could be thinking about it all the time, but then I can't physically do it. Right. Which is something that I've really had to work on, and something that I didn't so much struggle with at school, but I think that's because we were sort of told what to write when, almost.
Mm-hmm. Whereas
getting to uni, we've got all these deadlines, and my brain can only focus on one thing at a time. So I was getting an assignment, an essay done, and then I was doing the next one, and I was completely neglecting the fact that I also had dissertation research. I had a topic to choose for my diss. I didn't submit like an idea, a proposal, until after the deadline, when I'd been essentially shouted at over email.
Jeez, those are never fun.
I cried multiple times because I had every intention to do it. I couldn't get my thoughts together, at all. I think I was just, one, burnt out, but also had so much other stuff going on that it felt impossible, and the fact that everybody else could do it made me feel worse.
Is there a bit of an atmosphere of like burnouts and...
Oh God, yeah. I know more people who have imposter syndrome and have burnt out than not. But I would say, personally, I've never had imposter syndrome, purely because I've always had like the mindset of, well, I've done the same application process as you. Like, I got the same grades as you. I've done the interview. They clearly think I can do it. Just because all these people might be better than me doesn't mean I don't deserve to be here. It just means they're better than me. Like, we all deserve to be here. And it's a very humbling experience, let's say. I don't know if it's the same for schools that kind of are like selective, but for my school anyway, I was very used to being left to my own devices to get the top grades at A-level anyway.
Yeah.
And I was always kind of at the top of the class, whereas at Oxford, it was like everyone's the top of the class, so I was now the bottom. And that hurt for quite a while. But once you get used to it and you're like, look, do you know what? You're not the bottom of the class. You're just... probably just struggling. Like, you're still good. You can still pull this together. You've got 3 years to get used to it. Just because you're finding it hard now doesn't mean you're always going to find it hard, and doesn't mean you don't deserve it.
Exactly.
And I had that mindset all the way through. It was just something that my brain like naturally went to.
Yeah.
I overthink everything else.
But funnily enough,
I was just like,
the uni bit's fine.
I know. Weird.
But I had the same experience going into first year though. You're riding the high of A-levels because you've been revising, and it's quite structured in the way that you can do A-levels in a way, because everyone has a set thing. This is what you follow. You do this, and it's fine. And you can pretty much bank on that getting you a decent grade. And then you go to uni and you just feel like everything changes. And I remember my first results for some of the assessments in first year were just like, wow, like, why am I even here? Like, what's going on? Like, somebody teach me, like, and it does feel a bit overwhelming. I'm not sure how it feels in Oxford though, when
the same.
yeah, because it feels like at uni you have less support overall when you're doing assessments, because you don't have the same sort of like, the lecturers are not going to help you write the assessment, where it felt a bit like you could kind of go to your teachers in sixth form and they'd properly kind of help you. I almost had one of my teachers write my assessment in A level. Like, it was that level of like support. And then you go to uni and it just feels like there's just no support sometimes. And I remember, because of that, my first year sort of assessment results were like, it's a big shock, and you're like, I either need to make a massive change and figure this out, or you just kind of feel like it's gonna send you under and you're never gonna get anywhere. But the weird thing is that you do get used to it.
Yeah, you do.
And you do eventually start seeing the results come back, and it's not rocket science figuring out a uni essay or a uni assessment in the end, because it's just getting used to how they want to see it.
One thing I can credit Oxford for, in fact, I don't even know if it's Oxford wide, but St Peter's is, well, you always have like a college tutor, so they're a department tutor, but they're specific to your college. It's almost like your personal tutor. Like, we didn't have personal tutors, but we had 3 tutors that were St Peter's specific, like based academics in our subject, and there's some were better than others, but one in particular was amazing, and I can't give her enough credit for the support that she gave everyone, regardless of how much time she had, regardless if she was even in the country. She genuinely always put supporting us first. I can't fault her on that. And like, I've met up with her since leaving. She's now like the head of the department.
Wow.
And
big gains.
Still met up with me, even if I'm not there, and we talked about what I was doing, what she was doing. She talked about like outreach, and how actually in the last few years, she didn't actively say it was because of me, but
you've had an influence.
How like applications to St Peter's Arcanant, but general Arcanant, have completely flipped from being like 70% independent school and then 30% like state school, has completely flipped on its head. And I know for a fact, like when I was in first year, well, I didn't really meet the other year groups in archaeology, but my year definitely on the surface felt very like posh.
Right.
There was a lot of, oh, I know you from school. Oh, I know you from school. Oh, you go to London. Oh, I know your brother. I was like, what?
And you know no one.
What the heck is going on? Whereas I get the vibe that that's changed, or is changing.
Baby, let's get lost.